Gabriel. How you been doing?
I've been great, man. It feels good to be out here in Corpus. We're sitting out in the park, and it's windy, a little windy. Feels good.
You hear the cicadas. You hear the Fords driving by because it sounds like the muffler is about to fall off. But I mean, it's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful time in America. Anyways, we hope that you're all doing well and that you're healthy. And we're going to start off tonight with Eric's true story. We're going to start off with Eric's true story. We've done 9 of these. This will be lucky number 10. And I went over a couple of the different ones with Gabriel, and he said, yeah, you should do this one. So I decided to. So Dave, if you're watching this, thanks for this memory. Kind of freaked me out. All right, way back in 1988, I was driving the Dodge Aspen that we've talked about so many times before. And I was going to go over to my friend Dave's house to pick him up to play basketball out at Memorial Park. Anybody from Rockport knows Memorial Park. When I got there, his mom answered the door, and she's all, oh, Dave's in the back with the rabbits. Well, I knew Dave was in 4-H. He was kind of a country boy. So I figured he's feeding the rabbits or dumping their poop or just doing something like that. So I start walking towards the back door, and it's a sliding door, and the screen's there, and I could hear a like a loud bang, but it sounded like a slap or a pop. I'm like, what the hell is that? Is he like throwing rabbits or something? I don't know what the hell's going on. As I go into the backyard, there is a, how can I put this? There's a pile of dead rabbits laying in his backyard. And Dave's standing there with a little bitty, beautiful, little bitty white rabbit, its little nose going and stuff. And I was like, what are you doing? You know, I didn't know what was going on. I just saw a bunch of dead rabbits. And he's all, oh, I'm almost done with my rabbits. Done to me would be like feeding or something like that. Done to him was, it was the end of the season. He was going to sell the rabbit meat. I had never been in 4-H. I wasn't that country. You know, I was pretty much a normal person. And so what happened is, he was killing these rabbits by holding them in the palm of his hand and taking his other hand and striking with the heel of his hand on the back of their heads in one instant. And they would just go limp, and he basically crushed their skull and would throw them in the thing. Now, this is a guy that I've been playing basketball with. He's an original Rockport Celtic from all the way back in 87, 88. You know, I used to send him to Corpus whenever he went to school at up in Corpus Christi Academy to stop and get me Bob Seger tapes. You know, we were really good friends. I did not know he was a mass murderer. This scared the living crap out of me. Not really, but I was all like, Dave, you're killing all these rabbits. He's all, yeah, I do this every single year. I was all, so you raise them, you feed them, you take care of them. They do their little nose and they look at you and stuff, and you know, I'm gonna kill you someday, rabbit. And he was all, yeah, this is what I do, and I sell the meat, and I get money out of this from 4-H. And I was all, that's awesome and stuff, but that's pretty evil and stuff. He's all like, oh, they don't feel anything. He's all, I only got 2 more left. And I was all like, I'll be in the car. And so he came back out about 5 minutes later after slaughtering the entire group of rabbits, washing his hands, which I did ask him when he got in the car, did you at least wash your hands? He's all, oh, yeah. And then we went out and played basketball. And I don't think the people that knew that we were playing basketball with him, that I was passing the ball to a serial killer. He had killed hundreds of these rabbits probably, and he didn't care. And that's the scary thing. And that's why I've never let Dave spend the night at the house when I was a teenager, because I was afraid if I made him mad, that hand would come down on my skull and my mom and dad would be missing their little boy. But that is a 100% true story of Eric the Wolf and my friend Dave, who killed hundreds of rabbits with his bare hands. And I heard there's other ways to do it, but he thought that was the easiest way, crushing their skulls with the palm of his hand. And Dave, if you're watching this, love you as a friend, bro. Never gonna let you around my animals. All right. Do you have anything to say about that? If you were to imagine seeing something like that you never would have seen before?
Well, I still find it hard to believe that he would do that, because the Dave that I know, I didn't even think could even do something like that. But you saw it. It happened.
Oh,
so.
Yeah, and he'll admit it. He was in 4-H. This is how you're supposed to get rid of him, to skin him and do. I didn't even want to go into the skinning part.
But right, wouldn't it be the fact that he didn't even he just boom?
It was just
boom.
one instant.
No problem.
Just crush the skull. Crush the skull.
Wow.
All right, now we're going to do our top 10 questions, our speed round with Gabriel, which you love these, right?
I hate them. I wish we'd
You got to understand, between our friendship, hate is really another word for I love to do this.
No, I really don't like it, because I don't know what he's going to ask. And
he does not know this since the beginning. Have I ever told you any of these?
No, you don't.
And wasn't I conspiring with Vinny, our producer, earlier today? He'd look over, he'd be like, what are you guys doing? I'd give him that little look like a kid, like, I'm going to pull something. You have no idea.
Well, they were whispering, but I told them, if I don't like the question, I'll just pass.
He's not allowed to pass because he was never a good quarterback when we were a kid. All right, here we go. But the Cowboys could sign him.
That's a whole different story. That'll be on the Spanking Dude.
I went there. I'm sorry.
That'll be on the Spanking Dude.
All right. Number one question: did you have a nickname growing up with your family? Do they call you something other than?
They call me Bobo.
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 All right. I'm gonna give you I'm gonna go to the other ones. I'm gonna give you the last one, the either or. It's gonna be the toughest one you've ever faced. All right. The next one. Say any word in Spanish. Say anything.
Te quiero.
Te quiero. That means love, right?
Means I love you.
I thought te quiero mucho is like I love you very much, right?
Te quiero, I want you.
I want you bad?
Well, te quiero, I would say te amo, I love you.
Okay. Te quiero mucho, people. All right.
Te amo.
Yeah, him.
And let me tell you about the te amo real quick, man. I was in junior high. I'd never heard that word before, ever. So I was in 7th grade and talking to this girl. She became my girlfriend for a while, and she wrote me a letter. And
she dated Bobo.
And she wrote me a letter, and I read it at the box with te amo, and I never heard that.
And you thought
before.
she cursed you or something?
No, I didn't know what it was. So I went home and told Mom, what is te amo? I mean, she loves you, son. And I was like, wow. I didn't know what te amo
And this was what grade?
I think it was my 7th, 8th grade year. I'm not
You're
really
pulling them 7th and 8th grade year, man.
Well, somebody loved me.
I mean, you got the word love.
Yeah, in Spanish.
The next one. What's your favorite number?
That's tough. I don't know. I guess you should have asked me what my favorite color was, not number.
Bobo, I don't care about that. I want to know your favorite.
I'd say 21.
21? Good number. Good number. All right, next one. Can you name any one of the 7 dwarfs from Snow White? Just any of them?
No.
Come on.
I
Snow
can't.
White and the 7 dwarfs. You can't name one?
No.
Like Doc, Sleepy,
No.
Sneezy?
No.
Anyways, all right. Do you respect Kanye West?
No.
Good. If you could ask God one question, if he came down and said, nobody else will ever see this, but I just, as a human, to God, I'll let you ask me one question. If you could ask him any question, what would it be?
How do we get to heaven?
How do we get to heaven? Okay. At what age do you think people should get married? Not saying it has to be a legal thing like drinking or tobacco use, but like what age do you think it's good for most people to get married because they've lived a little bit? Do you think 18 is good? Do you think a little bit older is good?
I think 25.
25? I'd agree with that.
25 is about the age that I think somebody, and I think that's still too young, but you should not be getting married 25 or under, 25 or over, at least the age of 25.
You gotta live a little.
You gotta live mature too, man. It takes a while to mature.
Can you name a word that starts with the letter Q?
A word?
Any word that starts with Q.
Queen?
Queen? Good. Can you name a country that you would never, ever in your entire life go visit?
Russia.
Russia? Okay. Now the final one, and this is the one that I was working on with Vinny, and this one's going to be fun. If you've ever watched this and you know us, you'll enjoy this one. Gabriel, number 10. This is an either or. Either you could sleep with Kaylee McEnany, Trump's.
You're sorry, man. Yeah, man, that's cool.
All right. You could either sleep with Kaylee McEnany, Trump's press secretary, but after doing that, you have to, in November, vote for Trump, and you have to vote for Republicans, no matter who they are, for the rest of your life, but you get to sleep with her once. Or brother, you get to sleep one time with Selma Hayek, but you can never have sex again. And if you know us, he loves Selma Hayek.
All right, so, but you know what? I know why you came up with that.
Imagine her doing.
Listen.
Bobo.
Listen. Okay. Listen.
This is a tough one, right?
No, it's really not tough, but I'm just talking too much to you about what my inner feelings are. I'm going to have to keep that quiet now because now you're using it against me.
Bobo. Bobo.
Well, first of all, I told him one day I think that I thought that the press secretary for Donald Trump was really pretty. I think she's very nice looking, and I listened to the briefing just so I could see her. Could really care less what she says. She just looks pretty. I really think she's a beautiful lady, and not only is she beautiful, but she's intelligent. and you've done some research on her, right? She's a very smart girl. So
I'm just
beauty and intelligence, man, that's a good combination. So I told Eric, man, if I could just date her. So Eric comes up with this now.
So
I would have to vote for Trump.
So you would sleep with.
Well, listen, I would have to vote for Trump, right?
Yes, you have to vote for him.
Now, I don't like Trump.
And all Republicans from now on, if they're even like anything, they can be the most.
He almost made it difficult for me to even sleep with her.
Or
he knows I'm not going to do that.
Or Selma.
Or
the all-time girl.
Who I've always wanted to. Right?
But you can never have sex again.
Now, when would I get to sleep with her? Like next year? This year?
Right now.
Right now? Okay. Since
Whenever.
I'm halfway done, and I don't know how long I'm going to live. I really don't, right? I may not live. Who knows, right?
Right.
Take the chance. I'm taking Salma and never having sex again.
I'm proud of you, brother.
Yeah, because I mean, it's worth it. It'll be worth it.
Right.
I mean, just imagine this.
He's right.
If I don't take this, I may never have sex again. So hey, I might as well take it.
That was a tough one, I have to admit, but I did try to come up with something.
That was a good
creative.
one because you know how much I like.
Oh, I do.
And you should not put her against Salma because
I'm
nobody
sorry,
can
I
beat
had
Salma.
to pit those two. I got 5 facts. Number 1, the moon does not have earthquakes. It has moonquakes. They're literally called moonquakes, and it shakes the moon. Number 2, rabbits cannot vomit. Once something goes down their throat, there's only one direction it can come out. It'll never come up. So, Creedence Clearwater Revival, CCR, very, very popular Hall of Fame rock and roll band from the 60s and 70s, is the only band to have never hit number 1, but had the most number 2 hits, which is as close as you can possibly get. They had 5 number 2 hits and no number 1 hits. So if those 5 number 2s go to number 1, they're one of the biggest bands of all time with 5 number 1 hits. Never had a number 1 hit. Number 4, dinosaurs lived on every continent. They have found remains even in Antarctica because, of course, we know about Pangea, and that was a theory, but they have found dinosaur fossils on every single continent on Earth. And the last one is, there was an island that was on maps worldwide for over 100 years that never actually existed. In 1774, James Cook said that he found an island that was over by Australia, but it wasn't put on maps until 1908 and stayed there until 2012. In 2012, a group of Australian scientists went out to the exact location on the maps that they had found worldwide, and there's nothing there. So they believe that what happened was he came across and found a volcanic rock formation that maybe was just above water, and he just called it an island, and people believe that there was a physical island out there, and by 2012 it was no longer there, so it doesn't exist. The final thing tonight that we're going to talk about is, Gabriel, what is the one thing in life that you fear?
The one thing I would say that I feared then and I still fear now is getting older and not having anything. And what I mean by not having anything, I start to realize that, as you get older, there's going to be a lot of things that you can't do that you did when you were younger. So it's become very important to me to save money. If I don't watch where I spend my money, I could turn in, if God leads me to be in my 60s and 70s, and really struggle. Because I've always had a fear of getting older and not having anything. And I feared that since I was in my 20s. And why did I fear that? I have no idea. But it's just something that's always popped into my head, and it's been very important to me. So, because there's always that possibility. A lot of people say, hey, I won't end up that way. We don't know. So that fear is always in the back of my mind. But it also helps me be alert, helps me be smart. So one of the things I've done now is I donate, I help. I used to not do that a lot. I used to just kind of, I'll help when I can, but now I'll make it a necessity because everybody needs it. But that's my fear, and it's still my fear today.
Just to end on a more positive note, if anybody out there that's listening to this and you've listened all the way through here, if you have a fear, the best way that you can go ahead and to deal with it is to confront it. And if it's something that you can deal with, like I could probably do things about my fear of dying, and Gabriel could probably do more about his fear of his future financially, but we do what we can. But if you do have a fear and you don't face it and you don't try to do anything, it'll only get worse over time, and I can tell you that. So we hope that you guys enjoy this podcast. We know that we've been getting a lot of views and stuff, and we just want to thank you so much for all that you guys have done for us. Remember, share, comment, and subscribe. We need to get subscribers. We're 28 subscribers away, and number 300 gets a prize. So we hope everybody's having fun out there, that you're being safe. Coronavirus hasn't exactly gone away, so just be careful out there. Anything from Rockport? This is from Corpus. Just peace, everybody. Anything from Rockport?
No, I just
from
look
Spanky
forward to next week's. We'll see what you come up with as far as questions. Now I know you're going to be asking me these questions every time we do a podcast, so I'm going to be prepared. And by the way, I will be coming up with something to do. I've got something planned for.
What are you talking?
Well, that's just in the.
No, you're not gonna let. No, I get to do this to you. You don't get to do this to me.
He gets to do. I've been thinking, and I think I've come up with something that everyone's gonna like, and he's gonna have to do it. If he makes me answer these questions, he's gonna have to do what I've got planned for him. So stay tuned, because that's coming up.
I did not know the holy. Peace. Bye.
Peace. 2 parts. Subscribe.